In 1932, a fully industrialized nation mobilized its military, deployed heavy weaponry, and officially declared war on a flock of birds. And they lost. The crisis started in the vast, unforgiving outback of Western Australia. The region had recently been converted into massive stretches of agricultural land, leaving millions of acres of fresh, vital crops completely exposed to the elements. That exposure became a critical vulnerability when a migration of roughly 20,000 giant emus descended upon the newly established farms. The massive flock completely leveled the landscape. They tore through fences, flattened entire fields of wheat, and left essential crops completely unsalvageable. This massive influx of feeding birds threatened to wipe out the local food supply entirely, pushing the regional economy to the brink of collapse and forcing an extreme response. Standard wooden fences splintered under the weight of thousands of heavy birds pressing against them. Local farmers and their standard pest control methods were entirely outmatched by the sheer volume of the migration. Facing total agricultural ruin, the farmers sent a desperate plea to the national government, demanding immediate and drastic intervention. The government's response bypassed agricultural officials entirely. Instead, they authorized a formal military deployment to the outback. Military command expected a swift, entirely one-sided campaign. They assumed their modern armaments would easily overawe the wildlife, turning the operation into routine target practice. But treating a complex ecological migration as an enemy combatant guaranteed they were stepping into a battle where their traditional tactics simply did not apply. The military rolled into the outback equipped with 10,000 rounds of ammunition, treating the farmland exactly like an active front line. Their weapon of choice was a pair of heavy, stationary machine guns, originally designed to suppress infantry in the trenches of World War I. When the soldiers finally tracked down a massive cluster of birds, they set up their tripods, locked their sights, and squeezed the trigger. The dense barrage of bullets failed to drop the flock. Out of hundreds of rounds fired in the opening volley, almost zero hit their mark. A heavy machine gun requires an enemy that stays in its line of fire. If the weapon system is locked onto a tripod and cannot smoothly pan to track an erratic target, all that ballistic power is wasted. This tactical map shows exactly what went wrong. The moment the firing started, the emus didn't group together. Instead, they instantly splintered into chaotic, diverging paths, completely breaking any concentrated line of fire. Because emus can hit top speeds of 30 miles per hour, those scattered targets rapidly escaped the effective range of the stationary guns. Even when a bullet did graze a bird, their incredibly dense, multi-layered plumage acted like biological armor, absorbing distant shrapnel and preventing lethal damage. The logistical failure was staggering. The soldiers burned through a quarter of their entire ammunition stockpile and managed to bring down only a few dozen birds. Millions of years of natural selection and evasion instincts proved overwhelmingly superior to heavy, immobile 1930s artillery. The campaign dragged on for weeks. Soldiers resorted to mounting machine guns on the backs of trucks, chasing the birds across rugged, unforgiving desert terrain until the vehicles themselves broke down. As reports of the absurd skirmishes hit the press, public embarrassment mounted. The military command slowly recognized they could not win a war of attrition against an enemy that didn't require supply lines. Facing complete exhaustion and a barrage of negative media, the military leadership formally surrendered the effort and ordered a total troop withdrawal. The dust settled, the soldiers returned to base, and tens of thousands of emus remained in total control of the agricultural territory. A highly equipped human strike force was ultimately run into the ground, defeated by sheer physical exhaustion at the hands of local wildlife. Today, this conflict is often framed as a punchline, but it serves as a highly accurate case study in the hard limits of conventional battlefield tactics. By relying on speed, erratic movement, and chaotic dispersion, the birds naturally executed what military strategists call asymmetric warfare. Their basic survival instincts perfectly neutralized the heavy weaponry of a technically superior force. The military commanders assumed their advanced machinery would guarantee a win, blinding them to the harsh environmental realities of the terrain and the true capabilities of the enemy they were facing. All the heavy artillery in the world cannot conquer the physical reality of a species' survival instincts. This military loss to flightless birds is a strange historical footnote, but Australia has a long history of bizarre ecological battles. To see what else they've been hiding in the outback, hit subscribe and check out our next video.